Good morning, fellow readers. I'm Cassie, here at Afternoon Literature, and this is Teatime, by BookTube. The video today is all about who I am, why I've decided to make a BookTube channel, and maybe some reasons why you might want to watch and discuss books with me. So I've decided, because I was nervous and needed to be as organised as possible, you can't see my notes here, to split this video into 4 different sections. The first section is going to be all about me, who I am, why you maybe want to watch me. Then the second section will be all about books, what I love, and what I will likely be talking about. The third section will be specifically about my channel. What are my intentions with it? What are my goals with it? And then finally I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the other things that I absolutely love, and some of the things that I like to know about the people that I watch on BookTube as well, so you might want to know about me. Right, so I'm going to start off this video by telling you a little bit about me. I'm not going to go into much detail, it's just, I think like anything that we'd met at, if we actually met up and had discussions about books, you would know some of these details, so it's important to know who you're speaking to, who you're discussing with. So my name is Cassie, I'm in my early 30s, and I'm from England, from the UK. I have a degree in English literature, and then I was really lucky enough to go and return and do a degree in popular literature as well, and a master's degree. I focused on popular literature because classics are not really my thing, and I was surprised by how many classics there were on popular literature. It was a really fun degree to do, and I had so many opportunities when doing it, but I wish there had been a few more books like the type we talk about on BookTube on that degree. While there, I spent a lot of my time trying to make sure some of those type of books were talked about, and so I've written a couple of papers about things like The Hunger Games and Divergent, and fan fiction and so on. It's a little bit old now because I did my master's degree a number of years ago, but to me it was important that if we're going to look at popular literature, we're going to look at what literature is popular now and what is being discussed and why is it being discussed. My current job is as an English teacher, teaching English to college students who are 16, 17, 18, but they are reluctant English learners, so I teach GCSE reset classes, and unfortunately that means, like in the UK, any students that didn't achieve a grade 4 at GCSE, they have to reset English and maths. So I'm basically spending my day teaching students to try and love the subjects that is my life and that I absolutely adore, and I hope that my passion comes across to them like I hope it comes across here. Family wise, I have a beautiful little sister. I say little, she's 25. My mum and my dad, who are the oddest non-couple in the world. Not something you need to know, but just we're a very close-knit family. And my goddaughter, who is a massive reader but will never appear on camera because every time I try and put it anywhere near her she just runs away screaming. And I live with my partner Wayne, who is extremely helpful, extremely lovely, and you'll have seen in some of the B-roll footage already. So now I get to come on to the really good bit and talk about all my favourite books. So it wouldn't be a BookTube channel if I didn't want to come here and talk about books. And I thought that I would start off with giving you just an overview of what some of my favourite books or favourite authors are. My favourite book ever is Wuthering Heights. I know I said that I don't particularly like classics, and Wuthering Heights is the exception to the rule. I read it when I was 16 for my A-level programme, and I thought I would hate it. I loved it so much I was just sobbing on the bus on the way home at the age of 16, and I've now read it nearly every year of my life. I own almost 30 copies, ranging from ones in other languages to ones that are from the 1900s to ones that are special editions, specially printed, just beautiful. I absolutely adore it. I'll do another video at some point, I think, going into detail of why I love it so much and why I think it's such an important classic and a wonderful book for people to read. And what I think are the issues with it, because just because I love the book doesn't mean that there weren't issues. The other books that I like that are a little bit more up to date, The Name of the Wind, I absolutely adore Patrick Rothfuss's writing style. Quote Stay With Me, which is incredible, and I'm going to put my favourite quote up on screen now. I just don't think you can beat it. I love Robin Hobb because a slow moving, character driven fantasy is just my jam. I also like really slow burning romance. I mean, literally give me an entire 500-page book and then in book 2 at page 250 someone brushes their finger against someone else and I am there for it. My whole body just will shudder. I adore it, and Robin Hobb is spectacular at that. City of Brass has become very recently one of my absolute favourites, and I also really love a good crime and a good thriller, so I will read anything by Sarah Paretsky, who is an amazing crime writer and writes hot world detective fiction. My tastes are eclectic and that's completely fine with me, and I love the fact that a lot of BookTube over the years has changed to match those eclectic tastes. The current state of my library I'm not going to show you right now because I've, after half an hour of trying, finally got the angle right on this camera, but it is in boxes. So I'm between homes for the next 2 years. I know that sounds really weird. That's because where I live they're doing a lot of work on the houses by my streets, and so we've moved out of our forever home to a temporary home which we've been in for 1.5 years. We're due to move back in a year or so to the house, but because I have so many books, when I've originally packed them up I didn't want to unpack them when I know that they're going to be packed again. So at present the only books I have out on shelves are to be read or that I have read very, very recently. So just behind me are books I have just finished like this month, and then they go in a box. But all around the room there are boxes and boxes of books that are read that cannot currently go out in my library. So I think I have around 10 boxes of read books that are just sitting waiting for me, desperate to be reread and loved and enjoyed at some point. And I have 300 books out on my shelves at the moment. It took me months to convince Wayne to let me unpack all of my unread books and just put them on shelves so I could see them and use them and love them. But 300 really kind of is the limit of the amount that I can unpack. Okay, so genres I love. Detective and crime fiction. I love a really good thriller, I love a really good crime fiction. I really, really enjoy a mystery that I can really get to grips with and have a go at reading and understanding. Fantasy I say is a relatively new concept to me. That's not entirely true. When I say new I mean like the last 10 years. It's not something I read when I was very young, but now I love it. I can't put it down. They're my main genres. I don't really do romance. It's not a big thing, and literary fiction is something I tend to stay away from. I never say I won't read it because that would just close me off to something that's possibly a wonderful avenue, but it's not my favourite thing, and so it has to be the right book. They're the main genres I read, but otherwise I will pick up anything. Anything that sounds interesting, anything that sounds like it's going to draw me in or have a story that's been really suggested or recommended, I'll pick it up. I don't care. I had a little mini question here. Hardcover, physical, ebook and audio. What is my general opinion on this? Okay, I have hardcovers. They're expensive, they're beautiful, I love them. But I buy them because I buy an author's work who I enjoy immensely immediately, because I can't not have it and try and read it. That's not because I prefer the hardcovers. Some paperbacks are just beautiful and gorgeous. I like to write in my books, I like to use them, I read them, they're for me to read and enjoy. So a paperback tends to be a little bit easier, it's floppier, it's nicer. So I have no preference between hardcover and paperback. If I can wait for the paperback, I probably would, and I'm happy buying them up. Ebook and audio, I have a Kindle, I'm trying to use it more. I love it. I got it because when you travel, there was nowhere I could bring 300 books along with me, so what I did is every time Amazon sent me an email with 99p offers and something sounds good, I buy it on that. A really thick book that I can't travel around with, I buy it on the 99p Kindle. And I take a chance there. I treat it like going into a charity shop and just buying something cheap and taking a chance on a book that I otherwise wouldn't be able to spend £10 on. But I don't read it like I should, and that's because I read my physical books. I try to get rid of that TBR first. I write in them, and I don't love screen time. That said, I'm currently reading Nevernight on my Kindle. Audiobooks, I've recently got into audiobooks. That's not because I didn't like them before, it's just because I've got Scribd now and it's wonderful. I get very travel sick. Audiobooks are the cure to everything. I adore listening to an audiobook on the way to work, while I'm sitting at work, while I can't physically do something with my hands. If I've read an audiobook and I really love it, like I recently did with the Ember and the Ashes series, will I then go and buy the physical copy? Yeah, bet you gosh darn golly I will. I absolutely have to have the physical and I absolutely love it. But it's not because audiobooks are bad or because they aren't reading, they completely are. They make it accessible and easy and enjoyable and allow people more access to a world that could otherwise be closed to some people or at certain times, which I think is a wonderful thing. Why have I made this channel? Well, I made this channel because I just wanted the opportunity to be a bigger part of the community than I am just talking on Twitter and joining in readathons. I really want to be able to talk to people about books, to enjoy that discussion and to be a massive part of it. So what kind of videos, things am I planning on making? Well, this is subtitled Teatime, so where I make a video about book discussion or anything like that, or a little chat about updates in life and general reading things like reading events and activities, I will make tea time videos with me. I also intend to make some tags. I don't often watch tags, so I will only do a tag if it's something that I would enjoy watching. That's part of the intention of making this. I'm only going to make content that I enjoy watching, so that's what I'll enjoy making. I really love watching reading vlogs, so I'm going to have a go at making some weekend reading vlogs or readathon reading vlogs, and I'm also going to have a go at making some writing reading vlogs because I need to hold myself accountable. I wrote tons when I was younger, and now that I am older and a teacher and so on, I find excuses constantly, just constant excuses for not finishing something that I would absolutely adore. So I'm intending to make some writing vlogs, and I'm desperate to make a series that I'm going to call Spoiled. Now, I come to BookTube, it's what originally got me here, not just for the general wrap-ups and the reviews, but to be spoiled. I want to know what someone thinks about my favourite books. I want to know in detail. I want to know quote to quote. So I'm going to do some videos that I'm going to call Spoiled, and I will be spoiling some of my favourite reads. And some of the reads that I'm reading for the first time, but are BookTube's favourite reads and so on. Obviously, the name is in the title and people will get warnings, but if you want to come and discuss a book in depth and really find out what I liked about it, book page to page and quote to quote, head along to that series. And I will also make some TBR videos, a la Emma from Drinking by My Shelf, which is a channel I adore, and reminiscent of Books and Lala. I am intending to make the TBR videos in a balancing the books style, where I have to get my TBR down each month because I cannot have 280 unread books anymore. I need to decrease them. My other goal in general for my reading is to finish series this year, so I'm going to make that a constant thing. I'm going to check in, and that's one of my reading resolutions. And I also just want to learn how to edit, so while I'm off on some holidays, because yes, I have 3 weeks off now, before I have to go back and plan some lessons, I really want to teach myself how to edit videos. So hopefully over the next 3 weeks you will see those become better. My editing skills should improve, I promise. Non-book related facts and pieces of information. I thought I would just give you a little bit more information about me, and the reason that I wanted to do that is because I think it's one thing to get an idea of my reading tastes, but I think it's another to get an idea of things like my tastes in movies and games, and TV shows. And the reason I think that is because the more you get to know about a person, their humour for example, the more likely it is you're going to like the suggestions like they give. So I just wanted to give you a tiny bit of an overview. So favourite films and TV shows. Well, I love Grey's Anatomy. I don't read anything like Grey's Anatomy at all, but I adore that show. I can rewatch it again and again and again. In fact, I think I've watched it around 5 or 6 times now. All of it, all series, and I still cry. Wayne keeps pointing out that it doesn't matter that I see something coming, I'll cry again because the emotion is still there and it's still wonderful. Other favourite television shows, I love RuPaul's Drag Race. There's a humour there, there's a comedy, there's a self-deprecating thing, and there's also a bit of pride in there that I absolutely love. There are some problematic elements and I'm not massively fond of drama, but it's something that I absolutely enjoy. I love The Apprentice, the UK version, not the American version. I don't know what it is, but I will watch British people be as arrogant as they want to be and then get their comeuppance. That's a terrible thing, but it's a hilarious show. I think for the complete opposite reason, it's why I like watching Great British Bake Off. It's just wonderful to see people be incredibly lovely and incredibly nice. We're currently watching Designated Survivor, which I think is fantastic. It's incredibly left-wing and it's how they've got away with it, but I love it. And I'm completely fine with that because the opinions are just wonderful and so truthful, and the new season is making me cry every episode. In terms of favourite movies, I will rewatch any musical again and again and again. So I think we watched The Greatest Showman 3 times in one day last week. We watched The King and I and rewatched the Roger Hammerstein's version of Cinderella with Brandy, which is wonderful. I have been trying to find that for ages, and I recently got some other musicals. Moulin Rouge is one of my favourites, and I adore going to see musicals in the theatre, and seeing ballets and things like that. Other favourite games. So games are a massive part of my life. I don't actually spend that much time personally gaming. I did when I was younger. I don't as much now. But Wayne's degree is in games art and games design. He's currently a games tester and is working on his own projects, making game assets and so on. So games are a huge part of who we are in this household. My absolute favourite game of all time I think is Final Fantasy, the series. I love Final Fantasy 7, I adore Final Fantasy 8, and you can keep me going up until Final Fantasy 15, not so good. So I'm desperately waiting for the new version of Final Fantasy 7 to come up because every time I see it, it makes my heart stop. I also adore Uncharted and The Last of Us. They're games that I can actually play and actually have a go at because I'm very good at hand-eye coordination. So I love those. Otherwise, I am happy to watch Wayne play. He has a tendency to play games. For me and my little sister comes over and we make it a big game event, and it's a massive family thing. So I just adore playing video games, whether or not I'm actually very good at them. So that is the end of my very first BookTube video. Essentially this is just me having a chat about why I wanted to join BookTube and what I want to get from it, so I hope that that's come across. And I also wanted to introduce myself. I might do the BookTube newbie tag. I'm going to consider giving that a go as well, so you find out a little bit more about my reading. But in essence I just thought that this would be a way that was a little bit more me. And to really just be able to have an introductory chat. I have no idea what my upload schedule is going to be like. I'm just going to go with the flow for a little while and try and have a go at it and see how confident I get with it. But hopefully this first video hasn't been too awful. I am very aware that I'm looking all over the place and maybe acting a little bit nervous now, but I'm sure I'll get better at that with time. Thank you very much for coming along and listening to me ramble here at Afternoon Literature, and hopefully we'll soon be able to chat about books as much as we can. If you've got any comments on any of the books that I've just spoken about in my video, or if you just want to tell me a little bit about yourself and maybe some of your favourite books, and maybe we can start a discussion going straight away, then I would absolutely love that. So please leave me anything that you want to say in the comments. And that is all. Have a nice day.